Hi guys, so this is a haul. This is my Superdrug and Amazon haul. I have been trying a few of these products out, so I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on what I liked and what I didn't like, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So this is all the products. So I'm going to do Superdrug first. So the first thing I got really quick is brand new e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. I still haven't opened this one yet just because I currently have another one that I'm currently using, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't run out of this because this is one of my favourite go-to primers. If you want a pore filling primer, this is the one. This is the MUA, which is the Makeup Academy Professionals 15 shade palette in Fire Vixen. I don't know how much I'm going to use these like blue shades, but the rest of this I was so intrigued by. This pinky red sort of shade really reminds me of a new shade in the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. And for that reason alone, I really wanted to get this palette, but I did not realise how creamy these shadows were going to be. So they do have numbers on the back, but I'm not going to go through the numbers. I'm just going to swatch a couple of my favourites. So I have 3 swatches here, which are so pigmented. But I think these MUA palettes are really, really good quality, and if you want to get a hold of Fire Vixen, I think it's around £4. So for 15 shadows, that's really, really good pricing. And I don't know why more people aren't talking about these. So next, of course, I got the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. I had to order this, and I ordered it the second they had my shade in. I actually wanted to go in store and swatch because I feel like I might have been a couple of shades lighter, but I ended up getting C1, which was obviously the lightest shade. It has a huge doe foot applicator. It's only £4. I don't know if I think this is the best concealer I've ever used. I feel like if you're looking for a decent coverage concealer, is it as good as Tarte Shape Tape? Pretty much the same. I don't have full coverage immediately, my Tarte Shape Tape either. I do have to build this up ever so slightly, but it lasts pretty much all day. I'm currently wearing it at the moment. You can see my eyes are like quite nice and brightened underneath. For the price, this is probably worth a try. Next, what is on my nails is the Rimmel London Urban Chameleon. So I probably need to repaint these, but you can kind of see that they're this really lovely like olive green shade. I saw Casey Holmes wearing a sort of olive green kind of shade, and I saw this on the Superdrug website and I had to get my hands on it because ever since I saw them on her that colour on her nails, I really, really need to get my hands on this. Probably not a colour for everybody, but if you wanted to get your hands on an olive green shade, then this is one of the Rita Ora ones as well, the Urban Chameleon by Rimmel. Okay, so the penultimate product from Superdrug is by Nip and Fab. I feel like no one talks about Nip and Fab. I'm not really sure why. They have a lot of really good products. This blush quad I thought was stunning. This shade, Velvet, is a really lovely nude. I'm not wearing it today because I'm wearing one of my favourites today, which I'm going to be talking about in my hits and misses. But I thought for like an everyday sort of blush palette, this is really, really good, and this was really inexpensive. The blendability is pretty good. You can go overboard. What's new with me in blush? Maybe like tap it off on a tissue or something first, or like tap it off on the back of your hand and then go in and make sure you blend it out with a little bit of powder if you have gone overboard. I think for the price this is a really good blush quad. And lastly is the e.l.f. Mad for Matte. I didn't get the Mad for Matte palette. I got the Nude Rose Gold, which looks like this. This is £10, which I thought was quite expensive. I get a little bit annoyed about e.l.f. pricing for the UK because this is $10 in the US but £10 in the UK, which means no matter what happens they're making more money from being in the UK than they do from being in the US. I don't love all of these shades. The blendability is really, really good. I feel like the shimmers aren't as pigmented as like the MUA one, but this shade here, this matte white, I am not saying get this just for this matte white, but I cannot stop using this for my brow bone. It is the brow bone highlight I have today, and I love it. It's so smooth, so creamy, and it really just brightens up that brow bone without having to put shimmer on there. I got a couple of things also from Amazon. I got the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte Finish Setting Spray. It looks like this. It's basically exactly the same as one of the other setting sprays they have, but this is mattifying. But the spray on this It's kind of a perfumed scent, and I find that it's quite an aggressive spray. I feel like the other one was kind of like that as well. I think for the price it's not too bad. Would I buy it again? I don't know. Next is the Wet n Wild little eyeshadow single in Brulee. I've been meaning to get my hands on this for ages, and then they repackaged it. They repackaged quite a few of their like older ones. This is what it looks like. I'll leave the link for everything down below, as I always do. This is actually a vegan formula, which is really, really nice. I used this today to sort of set down my eyeshadow primer. I will say this is ever so slightly dark for me, just for like a brow bone highlight or something. You can't really see it. It's really, really smooth and creamy. I have no issue with the formula whatsoever. We're almost there. So I got this Profusion Contour Palette because of Casey Home. It looks like this. You get 2 highlights, which are amazing, 3 sort of contour shades, which depending on your skin tone you might be able to use a couple of these as bronzers. You also have these three like setting and highlighting powders. You also get these brushes, which this brush isn't too bad for sort of contouring with. It's not my favourite, but if you're in a pinch. This brush is actually really good for nose contour. I tried it the other day and this was so easy to use. The other one is just a little bit kind of, I don't know, I feel like it got messed up, so I don't love that one. It also comes with a really nice mirror. It's very, very clear. I will say I don't find them as blendable as I think she does. So that's the contour shade. Really, really nice and cool toned if you're looking for a cool toned one. Highlights are blinding. I appreciate they won't suit everyone's skin tone. It's called Champagne Light and Pale Gold, and I'm obsessed. I think they are so, so pretty. I probably could have put them in a better place. For a powder contour palette, I think this is quite nice and versatile. Obviously, it's not going to suit everyone's skin tones, and I apologise for that. Obviously, I'm only getting stuff in my own skin tone, and I'm very, very fair. If I have any others, I will try and look for them, but I think this is a pretty good contour palette considering the price. And lastly, the biggest disappointment was this little City Mini Urban Jungle palette. I was so excited for this. So excited. I used this the other day. I love the colours in here. I thought the green was gorgeous. I used that in my crease the first time I used this and it was great. I don't have any problem with this green shade, which I will swatch. I will say you need to build it up. It's pretty pathetic. But you see, again, it's one of those ones you kind of have to build up. The problem I have with this palette is, other than that shade, they're all shimmers. So you really need to have another palette to go with this, which kind of annoyed me. And then the shade I really wanted to use was either of these two. It's just sort of an underspray of grey with just straight up glitter. And then this golden shade. It's not as pronounced as I wanted it to be. That's there. The black I ended up having to use a lot of, and it's not a terrible black, but it does have shimmer in it. It has like golden shimmer. I mean, you can't even see the shimmer in it. So I ended up doing a green crease using black all over the lid. What I wanted to do was use black on either side and then do a highlighted sort of thing like I have today. But I ended up having to use a lot of black because those 2 shades I wanted to use just would not cover over my lid shade, which was really, really disappointing. But overall, this palette was a complete and utter disappointment. It makes me not want to try the other City Minis. That is everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Leave a comment and let me know what you've bought recently. I would love to hear from you guys. And I hope to see you all very, very soon. Bye. Like I said before, I don't have full coverage immediately. You probably can't see that very well. What are these called? Which I think is a little bit but I can't complain. I'm sorry if I've had to move, but my foot was going numb when I was sitting on it. I'm sort of sitting kind of like cross-legged, so I apologise. I think for a contour, this is, I think that's number 4? No. Number 2, number 8, and number 6? No, number 10. This is why I didn't want to go by the numbers, because that's hard.